Hi everyone, I see you all in the chat chatting away with us. We're just waiting on one more person before we get started. I'm really happy to see the turnout. This is absolutely great. We're super excited to be talking to Horde today. We're going to be talking to Tommy Gunn from Horde. If you guys are in their Discord, I'm sure you've heard him on AMAs. I'm sure you've seen him around. We have Nicole with us today, Crypto Nicole from Twitter, as well as me. I am Bunny Honey, also known as Sin. You can find me on Discord and Twitter as well as Nicole. And we are going to be joined also by DeFi Darling, also known as Sarah. She is in Australia, so she's a little bit different on the time zone. She'll be here very shortly, and then we can go ahead and get started. We are all very excited to be here. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm going to ask in the chat. If you guys can hear me, let me know.
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. And hey, everyone, looking forward to kicking things off today and speaking a bit more about all things Horde and all things blockchain babes. And yeah, congratulations, girls, on the first night where we're going with this. So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we do have that giveaway coming up today too. At the end of this, we're going to be giving away one Horde token, so that's super exciting. You guys could go ahead and start your plot with that. You'll only need 9 more after that. I know it seems like a lot of tokens, but one token is worth anywhere from like $99 to $112. It kind of stays pretty stable there, as you guys know, because you've been following Horde. So that's going to be super exciting. It's going to help you guys out with starting, and yeah, really excited to give you guys one of those.
Yeah, we'll start in a few minutes.
Oh, Tommy, they're saying, can you raise your volume a little bit in any way? I have it streaming from Zoom, so I don't believe I can raise yours. Let me try.
Okay, is this any better for everyone?
Sounds loud and clear for me.
Me too, it sounds loud and clear.
Self, turn up your volume. Should we play death metal?
Maybe.
Yeah, so the famous death metal intro in the Horde AMAs. So this comes inspiration of Alex. So let's just say that Alex is a very good drummer as well, and he was really into this really heavy metal at one time. So there you go. Just give you a little background story on Alex there, and yeah, but obviously there's a lot of sort of zombie themed titles in that kind of music as well. And it's funny actually you mentioned that. It was just today we was talking about how the music that's been developed for the game, which is really exciting, is something that we're gonna, use that as a platform for when we're doing the AMAs as well, So there's a little bit of alpha that no one's heard before.
Oh, that's so exciting. I can't wait to see that. Oh, I have so many questions about the AMA. I'm sorry, about the game. I'm just like itching to ask, but I'll save it for now. But I could definitely see that kind of music in there. And you said he was a drummer? Was Alex a drummer? Or he just drums for fun?
That's not for me to say.
Okay.
I just said he played drums, right? So it's just one of the things. It's so funny. But yeah, so the heavy metal. Personally, it's not my kind of music. But if you're slaying zombies, I suppose that's some good music to have. So it's all good. It's all good fun. But I suppose I'm cool. We can kick things off now and
all right,
talk about what we've been up to, if you want to do that. I know you girls wanted some kind of structure that you wanted to work with. So yeah, if you've got any questions where you want to start or whatever, I don't want to take anything away from you, certainly.
Yeah, we'll do a short intro. Thanks everyone for coming. We're super excited. And I think we'll just start with a little intro about me and Sin. Edie is not here yet, but when she comes, we'll give her a nice intro too. But right now you're joining from the new Blockchain Babes YouTube, and it's our first video on here, so we're super excited. And Blockchain Babes kind of came about just because we were new females in the space, and we wanted a safe place for all of us to like come and ask questions and not feel awkward. So we kind of came up with Blockchain Babes, and it evolved into a group of females that are really passionate about crypto, and whether that's DeFi, NFTs, trading bots, we're all about it. So feel free to join our community. Happy to have you. A little bit about me. I invested in crypto in about 2017 when it was like just coming off like Silk Road phase. No one was really sure what to do with it. And then I held on forever, and one day I just woke up, I was like, I'm rich. So I kind of into DeFi, and DeFi wasn't around, so it was a really cool experience. A lot of rugs, money was made, money was lost, but overall we learned a lot about the space. But I'm excited to learn more and more about Horde. Bunny,
Yes.
What's up with you? Tell us the story. Introduce us to you.
Okay, my name is Bunny Honey, also Sin on Twitter. I am so new to crypto. Well, it feels really new, but really it's been since February, and I know everything moves so fast, so that's probably like 10 crypto years. But yeah, I'm still learning a lot. I'm getting used to everything. It's been really exciting. I started with the Blockchain Babes, and from there things have just been really taking off. Like, it's been such an exciting experience. I'm just really happy to be here. I'm still new, I'm still learning, but it's been great interviewing different protocols and like finding out about them. I heard about Horde like right around the time where they were launching, because that was like right when I was getting into DeFi and everything. And I've just been watching them and been like, wow, like that looks good. I'm gonna get in on that.
That's great to hear.
Yeah.
It's amazing to hear like that we almost like OGs to your story, right? Like in the DeFi space, so to speak. That's funny.
Yeah, you really are. You guys were one of the first ones I heard about, and I was like, ooh. But it was like right as bear market was going on. I got scared. I was like, oh no, like, but you guys have kind of proven yourselves. Like, it's really been impressive. Like, how you...
Yeah, really appreciate that.
Horde, welcome. Do you want to do a
So yeah. Thank you for having us along. I'm honored to be on the first Blockchain Babes YouTube AMA. So this is really cool. So yeah, I'm sure many people have heard about what we've been up to over at Horde, but let's give you, anyone that's listening, in a really brief introduction about what we've been up to. So the main reason why we've stood out from the rest of the DeFi space is that whilst we've went through some really turmoil times with the bear markets, with, you know, things like, you know, Lunar Terror happening, just terrible things that happened in the space again and again. That's really like, you know, such a lot of liquidity out of the crypto space. We've been able to keep a stable range. So people may think, well, that's not different. Like, you can just have a stable coin. But the difference is we have a special part of our protocol called the Liquidity Manager. And this is a separate part of the protocol that keeps our token value in a range. So when we started off, we had a bottom range of 95 all the way up to 105. And because of the growth of the liquidity and the success of what we've had throughout this market, we've been able to raise it like up to the bottom peg of 99 and up to 112. And this is just one example of how a liquidity manager can be used. And now we're doing this for other projects as well. On top of that, it's like a reward protocol. We've got cool NFTs, what you can put on your plots. Imagine like a plot of land. You can buy NFT scenes, like movie scenes. You can attach them to your plot. They give you a slight rewards boost. There's a lot more utilities coming from that as well. We'll talk a little bit more about this. And we're also really launching a play to earn game that we've announced recently. A bit more details on it. We went into the new white paper, what we released yesterday. We discussed a little bit more about the game called Horde, Wasteland Defense. For those of you that have been in our Discord, you know that our general chat is called the Wasteland. And then the game itself is broke up into 4 factions, which is like the 4 factions of our Discord. You know, we tried to glue it all together, make it as fun as possible. But also at the same time, tried to make an actual safer place, a more stabilized, really path of what DeFi could do with it, you know?
Yes,
I hope
make
that sort of covers.
Again. So we're trying to feel a safe place in DeFi.
Yeah.
We are. I was honestly, before I really looked into your project, I was like, okay, like, let's see, does it go down? Does it go down? Like, I was a little scared. I was like, how is it going to do it? But it's been super impressive.
Yeah, well, you know, we also had the same doubts. In fact, I've been telling this story recently quite a bit about when our lead dev, who's an incredibly experienced guy from the TradeFi world, not your typical sort of crypto dev what you'd find on a sort of project like this. He's brought that experience, and he's really given us something that we were like, you know, maybe it'll work, maybe it wouldn't. Like when he first told us this could be done. So when it actually got built, and then we had it in our hands to test it on the testnet, we tried to break that thing, but it didn't work, you know? Like, it's just the way it's built. It's never been done like this before. It's completely built from scratch. And this is why it's so unique, and it's been able to stand out in the space. This is now part of where we're moving to as a software, as a service, offering this new kind of technology. And lots of projects are coming along, and they're using it in their own ways. It can be built on many different chains. It can be built with different pairings, not even just stable coins. It can be paired with Ethereum, Phantom, AVAX, you know, you name it. It can have a little range there. Even like the price of gold or diamonds, you could peg it to something, right? So there's a lot of ways that it can be done.
We were talking, like, because it's not just for DeFi technically, like the program can move across other areas. So do you want to touch base on just kind of how that works? Because some people are just
this is interesting, right? Because we've now got a crypto space that does include real world companies with real world utility. And, you know, sometimes the crypto world and the real world are 2 separate things. But this space has been developing. And so, like, we've like been talking with other kind of projects outside of the normal crypto sphere. And let's leave it at that, because like I say, we talk to a lot of projects. It's a lot of back and forth. But this is really to encapture the vision of what a liquidity manager can do. So there's different ways and different models it can be used. So people can have it like built for their project as almost an extra safety cushion. So if liquidity went to X amount, it could kick in and make sure that liquidity was used in a different kind of method. You could have a really low, small range. And then as liquidity and success of a new project grows, you can raise the price. So there's so many different ways it can be used. But I always come back to how we've used it over at Horde, is that we've used it to capture the success of our protocol and be able to give us a good runway to deliver and build what we want to build and build out our vision.
That's awesome. I actually had a question. Sorry, Nicole, I saw you starting to speak. I actually had a question about that, like how you said you could raise the price, and you guys did raise your price from 95 to 105 to the 99 to 112 range, I believe it is.
Yes.
Yes. So you guys did all this during the bear market. If we were, in the bear market, if we were to go into a bull market, would you guys see yourselves raising your price even more and like increasing that range?
I mean, it's never out of the question, but it's not about that. It's not about, you know, we wanted to remove the terrible sort of moon boy mentality that exists in the space. Like, here's the problem, is that if you have a project where they're token like 10x's, especially in a bear market, like if you have a successful launch in the bear market, that liquidity is going to get sucked dry from people trying to claw back losses, etc. Okay. So with a liquidity manager, what it does, it really enables a crypto project to approach it more like a normal business sense, in the fact that it allows communities as well to focus on what the team's doing rather than worrying about what the current price is. You know, how much is it worth today? What's it worth this minute? All they do is they focus on what we're doing at Horde. Like, because we keep building and we're building team and we keep pushing things, we always deliver. So if you have a project that stops delivering, it's not going to go well. And this is like, it's like a real test. And especially to, like you mentioned, to do this in a bear market to not only survive, but thrive through that and build up our liquidity pair, build up our liquidity manager, our treasury, and then implement all these different sources of income streams that we've got. Yeah, it's been quite a breathtaking experience to be part of it, to be honest, you know?
Yeah, I really love that because, like, you see it all the time. Like, projects will have like a little pump, or like it'll be going fluctuating up and down, and then people will just like dump on it, and nobody even really pays attention to what's going on. They don't read about what's happening, they just focus solely on that price, and they're just like really so focused, and it could really affect people's moods also. So, just like having that stability in your price not only lets them focus on what you guys are doing, but also just like
Yeah,
calms them and lets people feel more
it
safe and more
it is really
comfortable.
one of these things where I've said it a lot lately, but it is like a cliche saying we all want a safer DeFi space, because what on earth does that look like? I don't
Mm.
know. No one knows. How can it be a safe DeFi space? But this is like one step towards what that should be, right? And then I'm sure, you know, in a year or two's time, someone's going to come along and make something way better than what we've done and build on them ideas. And then we can come out further ahead and do something. Like, this is how this space has progressed.
Yeah.
But it needs to slow down, you know, it needs to be approached in a completely different way. And I think this is what has really been the standout thing about what we've been doing, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I love it.
And you also
Um,
talk about the decaying plots and how that kind of ties in with your sustainability.
yeah, of course. So, you know, essentially the first, how we started the protocol was more essentially leading towards a DAS, a DeFi as a service. I mean, that space was booming when we sort of launched. So that was really a space where there was a lot of issues. And what we done is we just sort of looked at where we think we could improve that, how we think we could help the sustainability. We added one simple mechanism, and that was a decaying plot. To not confuse anyone, our quote unquote node is called a plot to represent a plot of land, okay? Because, you know, we're trying to gamify everything, we're trying to make it fun as well to use. So the plots that you buy is what gives you the daily rewards. There's fractional plots as well, so it's not just for people with loads of money. You know, one original plot is around $1,000. You've got one stone, which is around $500, and one rune, which is around $100, and they all receive 1% a day. The difference is how long they decay for. And this is where this simple idea, like you mentioned, Nicole, just really helps the sustainability. Because if you want to be carried on being paid as part of the protocol, you have to keep participating in making new plots, etc. You know, but it's not just going to be a thing of like it's a rinse and repeat like that. We want to build out an ecosystem so people can have all different parts of what we're doing as well. We're also launched staking as well, which is coming soon. So you're going to be able to stake for BUSD and Horde. So imagine a staking pair where, I mean, I know there's lots of staking pairs like this, but you've got a staking pair on Horde ecosystem that's not going to be really a victim to impermanent loss because they're both stable tokens. So there's a lot of ways that, you know, we can help people learn all these different aspects of DeFi all in one safe place. And we're going to have a really cool zombie themed defense game coming soon that is going to be multiplayer. We're going to have some cool live streams and competitions, and there's going to be some really sort of cool things coming on top of really the business model of the LMS and all the other stuff that we've got to come, which we haven't even announced yet. So yeah, it's exciting times.
Yeah, I think people are really looking forward to the game. I see some people in the comments, and yeah, you guys for sure ask any questions that you have for Horde, and we'll definitely get around to them. I do want to touch base also on the new paper. So version 2, you have some new DK models, new bot trading, merch. There's so much to talk about actually. So
yeah, it's difficult to decide what's important, right? because here's the thing: is like there's not just one thing. When people try to say to me, "Oh, okay, just give me like a sentence of what Horde does," I'm like, I mean, like, is it a zombie game? Is it a DeFi protocol? Is it? But it's all of these things, right? And you know, things like you mentioned the merch there. People have been asking for merch for ages, and it's like, again, it's something that is important to us to get out there. People want it. We want to please the community, but we want to deliver what we need to deliver as well, with an actual working viable protocol that has real income streams, and this is what we're working on. So all of this is all fun and stuff, and we're going to do all of this because that's what we like to see as well. I want to get a Horde hoodie, you know, and walk around. And there's some really cool ideas coming of there. Like I say, we try and apply the same innovation that we applied to the DeFi protocol. We're trying to apply the same innovation to things like the game, things like, I nearly slipped up, something else. And also things like the merch as well. Someone's going to catch me one day. Someone's going to catch me.
Bunny is dying to talk about the secret announced today.
Yeah, I was messaging in our group chat earlier, and I was like, "Oh."
This was something that we're talking. We was just discussing actually before, and there is something that's going to be released. We were going to do it within 24 hours, but we're gonna hold off for a short while till we do this. And actually, this is something to do with the NFT scenes, and this is why it's really exciting. So I'm going to expand a little bit on here for the blockchain babes today. Okay, so this is like something that's going to, yeah, I mean, you know, so everyone's always asked, okay guys, so your NFT scenes, they look really cool. Like, so we've got 3 different NFT scenes. They all give like different amounts of boost. So everyone was always wondering what another utility of these are going to be. Now, I'm not going to reveal what it is. I'm sorry, because the secret is still a secret right now. No. But this is the step towards. There's also something to think about, that people are starting to pick these up at a faster pace now as well. And the first 1,000 NFT scenes, they will be basically whitelisted. It's like the only type of whitelist you would ever find in a Horde protocol. They'll be able to, the first 1,000 NFT scenes will be able to get a special access to something else coming real soon. And let me tell you about this something else. This is really cool. This is something that a lot of people have been dropping ideas and hints about. And if you're in the Horde Discord, you'll see the reactions, and there's a reason why we like, you know, meme and GIF reactions in Discord, because you can drop hints and stuff like that. But there's a lot coming, and yeah, I'm just really excited for all this to drop, and we're trying to drop it all sort of the same time as well, so it's non-stop momentum for what we're doing, leading up to everything.
Yeah, that's super excited. I'm about to like take a pause on this, go buy myself an NFT scene. I'm like, I want to be one of those first 1,000. I mean, I want to get in on that. Like, I'm super fun.
Honestly, they look really good as well. You know, I've got a few NFT scenes as well, and it's just like, it's really cool to attach them, and that's just something I thought was really cool when we sort of designed that, because a lot of the other DeFi protocols, it's you know, you do your thing, you participate with your however you do it, and then it's just sort of nothing really else to do, and it's just like, we wanted to make something that engages people properly, and it really does, like, you know, attracts all different types of various like people, different lives, and like, just because we're trying to do everything in one place, and we're trying to really focus on making sure it's easy for everyone. I know people have complimented us on how simple it is, the Soul Swap, to use the BUSD in the Horde, and you know, you try and go and use Pancake Swap for the first time ever, it seems like a nightmare, right? But you come along to the Horde Soul Swap, it's pretty simple. Like, you know, and we've had a lot of people say this. So this is also something we're proud of, to sort of offer that sort of easy user interface for people as well.
Yeah, it definitely makes it easier to use the protocol as well. And how will the liquidity, it's liquidity peer staking. So is that going to
What that looks like is just like your sort of regular setup that you would see on a normal sort of pairing like that. So we haven't released any like definitive figures on that, but this is just something that really we do really listen to our community, right? And this is something that they all asked for. We always thought it was a good idea, but we wanted to make sure things were going properly how we wanted with Liquidity Manager. We wanted to make sure everything was running how we envisioned it to happen, before we started delving down different ideas of what you can do in the DeFi space. With regards to the liquidity pairing, I mean, it's a way of staking your BUSD and your Horde, earning more tokens out of it. And of course, you would earn less percent than you would with plots, as you would if you look at percentages of how normal staking would work. The difference is you can pull that liquidity anytime. So it's a different aspect. So people can pull their rewards from plots, put it into staking. I mean, that's just one strategy that people are talking about, So we're just trying to offer as many different aspects that we want to bring, that we like in the sort of DeFi space, and incorporating them into what we're doing. And we're always open to suggestions. So if anyone listening has an idea that they think we should do, come along to the Discord. We've got a suggestions channel. Every message gets read on our Discord, and we always take into account everything. We've all got different perspectives on this space, and we welcome all ideas.
Yeah, I see people asking, sorry, really quick in the chat, where they could find your V2 version of your white paper. It is in their announcements section in their Discord. So there's a link to their Discord in our description. Go over there, go to the announcements.
If you actually go to our webpage as well, there's an update on there, I'm sure.
Oh, awesome.
And
okay.
Also, if you go onto our Twitter as well, you'll see it in there as well.
Nice.
Yeah, it's on the, like you say, it's on the Discord as well. So it's widely available.
Awesome. Yeah. Going back to that liquidity, or I'm sorry, the staking pools, there's not a lot that I've found on Binance Smart Chain that I'm super into yet. I haven't really looked into it, to be honest, but I did have the BUSD, and I have been looking at you guys. So then when you guys announced that, I was like, oh, cool, finally a use for this BUSD that I have, because I was just like, what am I even going to do with this? And now I'm super excited and pumped to get into that.
Well,
that's
cool
awesome. I know. Sorry?
Yeah, that's really cool to hear, and that's what we hope to do.
Yeah, it'll probably bring a lot of people in, right?
Yeah, and it's just another added utility for the Horde token. It's another added way that people can earn a passive income with less risk, because when you're in a staking pair, there's all different levels of risks that people have to learn and how to decide on what to do in DeFi. So it just adds a different angle that you can play in this space, because it does feel like we're playing sometimes, because it's so exciting how quickly it changes and all these different aspects that we can do. But this is what we try and do. We just try and focus on what we like in the space and do that, really.
I feel that. Another thing I like in the space, and you reminded me of because you mentioned it, was the P2E game. So you guys are going to launch on mobile, right? Can you tell us a little bit about what the gameplay will be like on mobile? You're doing Android first, and then iOS is in the roadmap a little bit?
Yeah, so obviously the reason why we chose Android is because there's more people have access to Android than in the world than anyone else, right? So we are building this has been built by a really credible game studio, and we again have tried to use the innovation that we like to sort of aim for in the game. There's some really cool features in there. There's some really cool mechanics. I'm really not gonna slip up here.
Okay.
So I'm really gonna think about what I say, okay? But yeah, it's essentially going to be a game that is going to have a micro sort of payment system within the game. It's going to help you upgrade your characters and skins. There will be, a way of using Horde tokens to upgrade even more, etc. There's going to be a multiplayer element. that you're going to be able to play against friends and play against competitions. And this is, like I mentioned, about when we move into really trying to capture some of the normal gaming community. And people are like, well, how are you going to do that unless you spend like 20, 30, 40 million on a real like big game like this? And it's quite simple. You just got to make it fun, and you've got to make it desirable. Well, how do you do that? Is that firstly you make it fun by having like, you know, good gameplay and a fun community around it. But then if we like do big competitions and entice people with like, you know, let's say like winning horde plots or stuff like this, like how exciting this is just to play a let's call it a round of Horde, right? And it's so yeah, it'll be exciting moving forward to really start releasing little snippets of things like gameplay and like a few of the characters, just to sort of let your audience know we have like different factions in the Discord. And this was like, it was almost like a secret in our Discord for so long. Like, well, what is a faction? We're like, you'll find out one day. And this is like, this is just like the 4 teams. We're breaking down the map into different factions. The map is obviously like the wasteland. So people are now really putting the puzzle pieces together. You know, it's like we've dropped little breadcrumbs all along. And as we start to drop pieces in, drop little gameplay, drop like how that works, everyone should see how this sort of I mean, I would like to call it a masterpiece, but I don't think that's my place to say. We'll see if people look back and say that, right, in time to come.
Yeah, sorry.
Is there gonna be a female character?
Oh, good question.
Yes, of course there will.
Nice.
So what you're essentially looking at is the different heroes that you have in the different factions. They all represent different things. That's as far as I'll say there. But yeah, you're going to have male characters, female characters, and yeah, it's going to be really cool how you can customize stuff, and how you're going to be able to upgrade weapons and traps and stuff like this. And the gameplay, I mean, I'm thinking of it in my head now, like how it's going to look. I mean, it's just going to be so cool. But, you know, luckily you can't see what I'm thinking. Otherwise, all the alpha would be dropped. But yeah, it's really exciting to see it. And we only just recently released the Horde Wasteland Defense logo. Mm-hmm. You can see that in our white paper. Went like for a more rusty color there, with like the wasteland defense underneath it with the chains, you know, sort of looks like it's in the wasteland. It sort of sets the scene and gives you this sort of, you know, impression of what it's going to look like a bit more. But yeah, it's going to be really cool to see that. And on top of that, that's just like I say, it's just one little part of the little cog of this big protocol that we've got. Obviously the LMS, the liquidity management service, has really took a huge momentum, offering a liquidity manager to other projects. Mm-hmm. We've already announced, you know, we've already launched with Golden Society, with Bloomify. We've already announced with Liquid Capital. We've announced Dibs Finance. We've got a few more partners that have been signed behind the scenes, but haven't announced yet because of, you know, just timing of marketing and stuff like that. We've also teamed up with Liquid Capital and acquired Orbital Dex. And this is an exciting move because what we're actually going to be doing is with Orbital Dex, we are going to be able to implement the liquidity manager service into a DEX for the first time. So projects that not necessarily want an average, let's say, setup of how we do liquidity manage for other projects and we set them up their own mini DEX, etc. If they don't want to do that, they can just go to Orbital DEX and then incorporate liquidity manager from there. So that's going to be an exciting turn of really, again, something else that is also going to cause another income stream for us with regards to, you know, fees that we're getting from them services as well. And it's going to open the doors up to a lot more projects. So that's going to be really exciting as well. So just another thing we're doing there. And like, I think you said it earlier, it's like we do so much, and I just I just like sometimes people have to remind me. So I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot we're doing this as well, because it's just every day like there's something else, right?
Oh my gosh. I love it. Oh, sorry. Bless you if you sneezed, and if you coughed, cough you.
Yeah, sorry. I'm also
Sorry, I was
actually
like,
sat here. Dan's now joined me as well. So
oh,
obviously,
nice.
for those of you who don't know, but in the audience, I'm Tommy, one of the founders. I'm also sat with Dan, one of the founders as well.
Yeah, hello.
Hi.
Nice to be here.
Good to have
Hi.
you. Thanks for joining us.
Of course.
So yeah, he's been sat on the side for a minute or two now, but he's just let me chat away because he knows I like chatting a little bit, so it's all good.
Yeah,
but yeah,
sorry.
so
Can I?
Sorry.
Okay, I just had one more question about the P2E, and then I'll let us move on to other things.
Go ahead.
I was wondering, with your plots, and you have the plot skins and everything, is there going to be a way to integrate those into the game so that you could like see your plot and be like, just a fun little thing, like, hey, this is my plot with my plot skin, and I'm defending it, like.
So I love that idea, and all I'll say is that we too love ideas like this. So there's going to be ways in which, like I say, what we've done is we haven't just built anything as a gimmick in our protocol. Okay, everything that we've built, including the NFTs, they're going to have some kind of use in other parts of the protocol as well. So that will be even more clearer as time goes on with something else that we're releasing as well. And yeah, this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to glue all the pieces. We're trying to make nothing as a gimmick. We hate to see that in the space as well, It just seems like such sort of like money grab. People just create like a random NFT. Oh, just like this NFT, it does nothing. It looks maybe a little bit cool, but is it really like, we like utility. We like actual like real use of what you can do. Not just with your NFTs, but, just everything in this space. It's sometimes, it's tiring to see when it's just like rinse and repeat ideas. We like to see innovation, and we like to try and keep that in mind. So I think that's my way of avoiding the question there, because you're trying to squeeze it out.
Yeah, someone in chat, Oxenpai, he's saying like, oh, it makes me wonder what new features were added to these. How do these new features benefit the project and users? So I could see people are definitely starting to think about like the NFTs that you guys have, or like whatever you guys have in there, and like how they could potentially be something in the future. So
everything we build within the Horde ecosystem is going to benefit the original reward protocol. So this meaning the game, all decks, the launch pad, all the different things. The LMS is everything is sending revenue back. Even the trading bot, right? Everything goes back to the liquidity manager. So this is this is the main point of everything we do.
I think you guys have had great innovation and always kept things moving and new and fresh. So I'm sure you'll continue to do so.
Yeah, I mean, it's been exciting to see. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we have a few questions, and I want to for sure get them. So I think one of the first questions is, if you buy a plot booster NFT and be one of the first 1,000, will you be the first 1,000 for this new unspoken NFT?
So yeah, the new exclusive NFTs we've got coming out, which by the way, right, of a lot of things that I'm excited about of what we're doing. These things here, right, these are gonna get a lot of attention. So being part of the first sort of 1,000 people to be able to get access to these, and it's only gonna get like, again, we try and do everything as fair and square for everyone, and this is this is something that has been brought back to us by our community, and how we try to make everything fair and square and equal for everyone, right? And so it's only going to be a small time frame window, but it's going to be, I think there's going to be a lot of excitement about this, and to be involved in them first sort of 1,000, that's going to be a pretty cool opportunity. I would say, definitely.
Yeah, someone said 637 are already minted, so there's not that many left. Over halfway done there.
And of course, we've got different prices of NFTs. The Church Square is 7.5 Horde tokens, which is pretty expensive. But people are like, how can you have that if it's going to decay? It doesn't decay. The NFT scenes can be attached to a plot. If your plot dies and gets overrun by zombies, you can detach that and attach that again. And then it can also be sold on the third party market as well.
Awesome.
On NFT trade, doesn't it? Yeah. So also we've got the search and rescue, and we've got the wasteland cabin as well. Different levels what you can buy them, and they all have the same thing as the first 1,000 all receive a ticket to get to this sort of I don't like the word whitelist, because we never had a whitelist when we launched. We never had any team allocation, but essentially it is. And I've got I don't want to paint a different picture. This is effectively what it is. It's just one of the little boosts that we gave to people, because we knew we had this other thing coming. We were like, these are going to be really exciting, so how are we going to sort of do this? And so this is a little boost, really, for anyone that owns an NFT scene as well,
Mm-hmm.
Exciting.
So sorry.
Go
Really
ahead.
quick, one more question about that. Is it going to be attached to those first 1,000, with the numbers? Because if someone buys one, but then maybe they don't realize just how valuable it is, they decide to sell it. Does the person who buys it off the secondary market get that spot, since they'll have the NFT in their wallet?
That's a good question. And what we do when we approach things like this is we always do detailed announcements in our Discord, explaining the ins and outs of how that looks, how you verify that you was one of the first 1,000. It's quite simple. It's like you would give that address if you were one of the first 1,000 people to mint that NFT. You would have a chance to do that. But like I say, this is all in the detail, and when we go down that and announce that and do that, it's we always do, on Twitter, we do a much more sort of basic announcement, sort of this sort of way, and then in our Discord we do a lot more in-depth explaining. And if anyone ever has any questions, we're always in there anyway. The founders always online trying to answer what we can as well, so we can always clear stuff up,
Sounds good. That's really good. Okay. What was the next question, Nicole? Did you have one lined up?
So people are wondering, how many partners until now does Horde have with their LMS integrated?
So there's currently 4 that's been announced.
4 or 5 announced.
So
probably more signed.
There's a few more signed. There's a few more being built out. There's a few more on testing stages. So let me give everyone here a bit more of a behind the scenes look of how a liquidity manager partnership works. And we touched on a really funny subject earlier, actually, about when we got built with liquidity manager by our dev for the first time ever. And he handed it over to us. We was just trying to break it. We was chucking millions there, trying to do this. And here's the thing. It doesn't matter what kind of liquidity a project's got. This liquidity manager that gets built works on a scale. So it doesn't matter where on that scale you go. You can go to the tens of millions, or you can just go to tens of thousands. It still works the same. As long as it's balanced correctly, as long as it's built correctly, it still works. So I mentioned about we tried to break it, and I urge all the projects to come along. I'm like, please, you try and do this yourself. I'm like, I know you don't believe we're going to be able to do this, but you try and break it yourself. I mean, obviously, if you chucked $1 million trillion or something, it's obviously not going to work. But you've got to be reasonable with what the project's going to do, the sort of liquidity, etc. So we've had some amazing sort of feedback. But sometimes it can be a bit back and forth with projects. At the end of the day, we have a lot of responsibility to do this for them. Projects have to trust us. So as much as we proved our concept with our liquidity manager, that's because we set it up perfect for how we done it, and we've got the experience to do that. What we are now going through is a stage where we're seeing the proof of concept on other projects that have now implemented the liquidity manager into their protocols. We're now seeing that they're stabilized, and everyone's now believing, oh, okay, so you can do it on other projects as well. So I think it just takes a bit of a while for people to realize the power of what can be done with this as well, you know. But it's a slow thing. It's a long journey. So we're not in a rush to do this, and we've also got a reputation to uphold. We want to try and work with like really good projects, really like, you know, innovation in the space. And when we're working with these other projects, it's helping us see new ways in which we can do it as well. So it's just a great little space that we've got going.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think it's a great offering for sure for these projects.
Yeah. Definitely something to look into for any new upcoming projects. Is there any like thing that people like, what's your biggest deterrent from people partnering with you that you would say? Like, what is the biggest thing that people come to you and maybe that's why they decide not to?
Yeah. Do you know, I suppose I'll mention this conversation I had earlier with a CEO of a project, and I won't say who it was, obviously, because that would just be dropping too much secret. So he said, like, it's one of those things that if you have a bull market, pretty much like any project can launch and have some kind of success, because there's so much excitement and everyone's just chucking money here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
But if you're doing it in a bear market, you don't tend to get the same type of individuals in the space. You really get people who are here to build. And building in a bear market is the best time, but it's also the scariest time, right?
Yeah.
So if you try to launch without a liquidity manager, there's not really like a safety barrier like there would be normally, you know? And this is why we've attracted a lot of different projects that have wanted to sort of join this sort of stabilized sort of sector that we're creating over here. But not only that, they get this sort of Horde stamp of approval to give to their community. Look, we're going to use our liquidity this way, so it gives them confidence as well. So, you know, we win because obviously we're charging fees to do this for people. The projects that are coming on board are winning because obviously they're going to be able to implement this, you know, stabilized sort of token mechanic and offer sort of a better runway in order for them to deliver. But the biggest winners are the community, because they're not going to be at mercy of whales like they normally do. They're also not going to be at mercy of the markets if a stabilized token is added, because they're really approaching it in a whole different way. It almost feels like DeFi is growing up, and this is the sort of way that it's sort of like moving into, right?
Yeah.
And we just feel like we're just like this little piece in that whole big framework of what's happening. But we're just like I say, we're just in an incredible position with the liquidity manager and what we've been able to do with it, you know?
Yeah, you see other projects launching with it, and if you see like that Horde LMS thing in their paper or like in any of their Gitbooks or anything, it definitely gives you like a sense of just like calm and just security, and you know that they are prioritizing like their token price and like making sure that people feel comfortable, and that's just like really great that you guys are able to bring that to other protocols as well.
Yeah, it's definitely something special. There's nothing I've ever certainly seen in a space like it. And you mentioned with security. I mean, yeah, with security, we try to always look at different safety aspects, different, you know, security measures we can add. Recently, we announced that we teamed up with Obsidian, who normally offer great security and audit and KYC, you know, services in the space. We started a new initiative with them called Enterprise by Obsidian. And this is something that when we have onboarded LMS partners, when we build them a liquidity manager, we hand over the contracts to them. Like, they have ownership of it. You know, they have control over liquidity. But then sometimes we offer them an upgrade. We're like, oh, hey, you know, we've upgraded our contract. We think this is going to be good for your projects. And they're like, okay, this is cool. So how do we go about that? We can't just go in, like, because we don't own that content. Like, they can't just let people in. And so what we do is we use Obsidian in a way that they work as the third leg of a multi-sig. So we have one member on our side as a multi-sig member. They have one member on their side. And then we have a third party in Obsidian. And what this does, this is just another security option that we're offering, for projects to come along, because this is just something else like that we can do to reassure more safety is involved. Because the more security layers you can put in a project, the less scams and rugs and just failed teams you're going to find. You're going to find people that take it seriously.
Yeah, definitely. And actually touching on that, someone I think asked about your CERTIC audit. I think you guys finished that, right?
Yes, of course.
Do you have some
So
way
let
you
me
could
give
find
you
it?
the backstory on that. That was from our pre-sale. We had a super successful pre-sale way back in the 21st of March, and we sold $750,000 worth of pre-sale plots in just 28 minutes. It was an amazing time, because up until then, like, we never knew how this was going to be. You can have a lot of people saying how it's going to be, but until you launch, you never know. From that pre-sale money, we had 600,000 go into our liquidity manager, 110,000 go into our liquidity parent, and the remaining 40,000 went towards the CERTIC audit. So that got underway, but it went on for a little while because this contract of a liquidity manager has never been done before. It's never been seen in the space. It went through some very thorough testing, and it actually ended up costing a lot more than that as well. But more to the point, they confirmed something with us as well, is that we upgraded our contract on liquidity manager a little while ago, just a couple of weeks before we had huge flash loan attacks, etc. in the space. And this is something that we upgraded. And then also CERTIC confirmed that the Horde liquidity manager cannot be attacked by a flash loan. Like, it can't be front run like that. It's not your average sort of mechanism that can be done like this. So this is again another security layer that we've got, and all we do is we try to expand on them as much as we can, which is just reassuring for communities, for other projects, for ourselves as well. Like, everyone's got to be protected, right?
Definitely. That is true.
The next question was regarding the game concept. So did Horde develop the game concept and find a designer, or did you find a game to match your vision to save dev time?
Yeah, so good question. We've seen this problem in the space a lot as well, where they'll use a template of a game and just add to that. We have built a game completely from scratch. I mentioned on the AMA last night actually about how our game, what we had our first vision, and we've sort of worked towards that. We've also added to that. The same as what we've done on the Horde protocol. We've just kept adding loads of stuff from the game. We're like, oh, this would be cool as well. This would be cool. And so it's actually ended up becoming a much cooler game than we could have thought. And it is a standalone game studio with a lot of experience. Again, all these sort of details will come. But essentially, we've ended up with something that we're really excited about. And it's got a few mechanisms, like I say in the game, that is going to glue the different pieces of our protocol as well. But I know people are so hungry for game alpha, and I'm itching to give it. But this is just something that we have always kept our cards close to our chest at Horde, and when stuff's ready, we release it. We like to under-promise and over-deliver, and I think everyone appreciates that as well.
Fun, you're teasing us.
I know.
Okay.
I thought we were gonna get the secret. I was ready. I was so excited. Okay.
But
another question. They just were asking if you ended up using some ideas suggested by the community, which I believe pretty strong on the Hoarder incentive there.
Yeah, go ahead, boy.
No, I just want to say our community also make things to us we use. They've made a dashboard where you can track all all that they've been paid out. I think it's right around 6 million BUSD that have been, paid out in rewards up until now. So, and stuff like that. And you can track all our data, and that's community members that's make all that, and we gladly share it and appreciate it. So yeah, we definitely do listen and interact with our community every day, and all the time in the chats. All of the founders, we love to be active in the chat.
Community strong for the Hoarders.
Horde community.
Yeah, it really is. It really is a special. It really is a special space. And I think because, again, like having a liquidity manager, what it does, it removes that roller coaster. All of them emotions, and it helps the community to think more logically. Because if you're reacting with emotions, you can't think logically. And when it comes to a project and deciding on if you're investing in a project or not, you have to think logically. And if you're just working on emotions, it's just like, it's not a great place to be. And this is why, this new sort of DeFi sort of perspective is spreading, I think.
Yeah, it definitely helps. People's emotions really set them off.
Another question that we got was, Zelf wanted to know if for the game, do you know if non-crypto general audience people can play it, and would the game be released on the app marketplace? I think
it's the whole point of the game, is to drag new audience in. So this should hopefully end up be a game that you will see on Instagram or Facebook or anywhere else on the social media and think, this looked like something I want to play. And that should be like where the audience for the game mainly should come. Obviously, all our hoarders should play the game as well. Exactly. But we want to bring in new audience to the ecosystem, and that's just done by going the, in quotation, traditional way, like attacking the mainstream market with the game, but keeping it true to our original thoughts and ideas. So yeah.
And let me add there that actually, it's a good point to make, is that it's not like if you want to be part of the Horde ecosystem, you haven't got to do you haven't got to do the staking and the plots and the NFT scenes. Like, what we wanted to do from the start was have something where you can participate in all the different aspects we do, or you can just participate in one of them. So if you just want to play the game for free, that's cool. Come and do that, right? But then you might be able to get a competition and maybe win a free Horde hoodie or something like that, So there's going to be lots of links, or you might win a rune or a stone plot, and you're not just going to, then you're going to come into the system and you'll be like, oh, okay, so this is how this works. So what our aim is to do is to give people the options and try and make everything as fair and equal as we can, and just give everyone different perspectives of what you can do in the DeFi, the NFT space, the play to earn space, and beyond.
Yeah, definitely. Is it going to be on the Android Play Store then? That's how you'll be able to download it? Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, that'll be the first release, and then obviously we would then expand on that, look over to iOS, look at a normal computer setup. So I think that's just the natural progression of any game of what you would sort of launch on this journey.
Yeah, I saw a lot of people were like, come on, iOS, let's make it happen. So they'll be glad to know that you are doing that. But yeah, like the number one thing has to be for it to be a fun game to play. Like, nobody's going to want to just like play for just because, they're going to want it to be fun. Yeah. So that's good that you guys are like focusing so much on the gameplay and like the entertainment factor.
Yeah, of course, And plus, I'm just really looking forward to, maybe hosting the Horde live one night, and someone wins like thousands of dollars for just playing the Horde game, and then you guys can come along and host it one night. And this is what we're doing. Like, this is what we're trying to push for. Like ideas like that. Pushing it with not only community members and projects, but the likes of yourself, like influencers in the space, and just everyone needs to work together. I think there's too much divide, and with this sort of perspective, everyone's sort of working towards. We can all go to bed with smiles on our faces, can't we, Dan?
Exactly. That's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
Yes.
If everybody from investor to developer smiles when they go to bed, what's not to like?
Who knew zombies would be making us smile so much? Sorry, Nicole, go ahead.
We're gonna have a Horde esports team by the end of it.
Oh yes, the Blockchain Babes Horde game esports team.
There you go. We'll have to do some blockchain babe zombies. That's what we'll have to do, right?
Yes.
Please do. Oh, I've always been so scared of zombies because I used to have so many nightmares about them as a kid, but like now I'm like, zombies. I want one.
Yeah, the theme of Horde is really fun.
Mhm.
I really like it. There's another question. It's regarding the liquidity swap. So I read that you have a separate liquidity swap whose core is the LM. Does the LM in this case function as AMM for this pair? Can you explain how it works? There's a lot of acronyms.
Yeah, so go ahead, bro.
No, I will just do it very simple. It just it's if you place the liquidity manager, it would be placed before the exchange, so after the user, before the exchange, as a middleman. And every time you go to the exchange, you ask that what it wants to do with the trade you want to make, and then it calculates how it should be done for ending up either on top peg or bottom peg. If it's in that end, or if it's in the range, just do nothing and let the trade go through. So it's on-chain, and it's on every single transaction. So it's basically just making sure that nobody is doing anything they're not supposed to, like front run or anything else.
Yeah, the interesting thing as well is that people always try to compare the liquidity managers to something that's out there. And we keep telling everyone, there's nothing else like it. Like, this is why we had to, when we had this idea of being able to do this, we couldn't fork anything. Like, we had to build it from scratch. And this is why our lead dev used his experience. And from the back end of last year, really, like, every day, like, digging into this and how he was going to do it. This is why, like, people misconceive like how it works. People sometimes look at it as an algorithmic stablecoin, but it doesn't work like that. It's an algorithmic calculation. It's completely different. So, and this is what I mentioned earlier about having this sort of scale. There's nothing else really like it out there. But yeah, I hope that sort of gives you a bit more in depth of what that is.
Yeah, that was really good. Thank you for that answer. I think we have someone else asking if your liquidity is locked forever.
It is. It's burned.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do anything about it.
Yeah, it was a shock to people to hear that, but it was just one of them things that when we were setting up the protocol, we was like, well, let's just lock it forever, man. Let's just do this for everyone's like, why would you? Well, we're like, let's lock it forever. We didn't have any team allocation. As I mentioned, no whitelist. This is why, even from the start, we set ourselves apart, because we sacrificed a lot what people thought we was almost like, we should have had. But we're like, how can we do that? If we're really trying to cause like no whales in the system, like no unfair measures, and make it as fair as equal, like that means that us being the same. And yeah, we were buying like plots at the start and everything as well. And unfortunately, we didn't catch underneath $100 either, because it took how long? I mean, it was like a minute or less than. Yeah. I don't know, and I don't know many people that got in under $100. I think I've met a couple community members. That's about it. But everything we've done is tried to just be equal for everyone, and I think this is what has been appreciated as well, especially when people have been treated so unfairly during this awful bear market and what's happened to some projects and stuff. I think people have always came along to our Discord and said that it's like a breath of fresh air. Just because we're focused on really what we should be focused on. Like, this shouldn't be a question of what we're focusing on as a project, but we're just focused on what's the best for protocol, what's the best for community, and if them two like boxes are ticked, that's going to be good for us. Like, that's how it works. So as simple as that.
I like that you guys were in there with everyone else trying to buy on lunch.
Yeah, it was funny. You know, how stressful is that? Because I was so excited about the launch, and obviously I was part of a team, so I'm like focused on that. I'm like, but guys, can you just wait? I just want to buy a plot. No, you've got to do it now. But I'm gonna. Oh man, like, and obviously, yeah, we missed out. It was so funny.
Yeah, I could just picture that. All right, let's see if we have another
feel
question.
our emotions.
I know. They're so.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
you know. I mean, what an emotional
She's
day
in the
that
comments.
was.
Oh, DeFi Darling's in the comments. What does she have to say? Let's get one of her questions in here.
Will the price of Tomb tokens ever increase due to maximum supply? Hence the fractional plots. Brings in a lot of revenue as well. Yes.
Well, yeah. Sorry, what was that? Sorry.
Will the price of the Tomb tokens ever increase due to the maximum supply? Hence plots.
That's not for us to answer. That's our LMS partners. That's the Tomb folks.
Mm.
The Tomb tokens, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we cannot answer that.
Yeah. But I think that's what that was about. But yeah, maybe it was about the Horde tokens as well. But as I mentioned earlier, that's just like as we grow and we expand, that's just the balance of liquidity manager. But if it's about the Tomb tokens as well, the Tomb sort of forks that we're looking at, this is again just a different way that people are using the liquidity manager on different types of protocols and using it in different methods for different aspects of DeFi.
Amazing. They also say Alex and work 24 hours in the Discord. They're always there.
There's always a couple of us online, you know. I never find a moment where I can't just pop in a Discord and talk to at least like a few people all the time, you know. There's always a buzz going on.
So we did have another question about the DEX. Like, people are wondering if you're thinking of adding more tokens for swapping in there, like such as your partner's tokens for the beginning.
With regards to on our DEX or the orbital DEX is the question. So firstly, on our DEX, on the Soul Swap, this is ideally just for, you know, our protocol for the Horde ecosystem. And then the next step towards, you know, true decentralization that I think, you know, crypto projects always should work towards, by having the LMS incorporated into orbital DEX is the step forward of where people could vision us becoming this sort of add-on to a lot of DEXs where, you know, LMS becomes this service that is just a typical thing to use in DeFi. And as crazy as it may sound, you know, this crazy like zombie protocol DeFi play that just launched amongst all the craziness happened to happen, like be like this. This was just, you know, like I mentioned, we had to put a fun spin on everything to make it an engaging place to be as well. Sometimes people can be too serious in this space as well, right? So you gotta do what's right and you know, put a fun element on it at the same time.
Yeah, you do. Let me see. Sorry, I'm trying to find more questions so that we make sure we get to everyone's. Oh, there's DeFi Darlings.
So you go say you was going to do a giveaway.
Yeah.
We have some details on this.
Go for it.
Well. One of the lucky chat members. So if you haven't said anything or asked a question, you have no chance.
Yeah, definitely say something. Try and get your name in the chat so that we know you're here and we can pick you guys out. It shows us a list of participants.
So, yeah, so we're gonna have to follow Blockchain Babes on our new YouTube, like and subscribe, and you'll have to prove it. So we'll draw a lucky winner. Who is it gonna be?
Well, let's
And
see.
how?
Are you able to do that, Nicole?
Yes, let me roll my mouse over, and whoever it stops on. And the winner of Horde token is Trading the Trend.
Ooh,
There we go.
Congratulations.
So
And
message us or message.
Yeah, he could go into our Discord and then say who you are, prove it, or just like at me. I'll message you, friend request me, Bunny Honey, in there. Oh, he said give it to someone else. He's an OG.
Okay, OG.
That's kind. That is very kind. Thank you, Trading the Trend. All
Okay,
right, so
darling.
you'll have to do it again.
Watch, it's gonna be DeFi, darling.
I know, right?
Dizzy IKEA.
Dizzy IKEA? Congratulations, Dizzy IKEA.
Yeah, we're not sure.
Dizzy,
There you
let me
go.
see, let me try and find the name. But yeah, if you are in here, yeah, go to our the Blockchain Babes Discord, verify, say at Bunny Honey in chat, and then I'll add you, friend request you, and then you can send me screenshots to prove that you are here. One, you are who you say you are, and then also that you're following Horde and Blockchain Babes on Twitter. Right? Those were our terms? Were those our terms? Why can't I? Oh no, you like and subscribe.
Yeah, and-
That was it. Sorry. You like and subscribe.
Follow us. Nice.
Congratulations, Dizzy. But follow us too, because why not? Okay.
And I do love this as well. I love this this sort of laid back chat. What we've got with regards to going over different projects. I really think this is something fresh in the space that's needed, because, like I mentioned, people are sometimes a bit too serious with their projects sometimes, and everyone needs to just approach this with a fresh mind. We've all been real, like I want to say, like victims in the space at times where we've just had the wall pulling over our eyes, and we also felt that when we designed this project that there just needed to be a lot more people taking this seriously, and but at the same time just keep the fresh idea that we're in this super exciting space at the same time.
Yeah.
And we should embrace that as well. The next things coming up for Horde is really just keep an eye on come and join our Discord if you haven't. Keep an eye on our announcement channels. We're always doing stuff in here. In the giveaway channels, we're always giving away our Horde tokens and stuff like this to help us get the message out there. We'll be having our website released real soon. The secret is still out there to be found, so we will find this out as well.
Okay.
But girls, I'll let you know as soon as this is out as well.
Okay.
And we're also, with the white paper released, the Souls paper Volume 2, you can sort of get an idea of what the new website's going to look like. Very slick, very nice design, a lot more information on there. As always, the website's going to be a brief overview. We like to think of a website like a business card, right? And then the white paper is like the more sort of real in-depth of what it's about.
Yeah.
But I mentioned last night on the AMA as well that the white paper will have different versions, and as we release new updates, and as people can see how the sort of the puzzle of Horde sort of is put together, we'll update in due time as well. And please always come over to our Twitter, come over to our Discord. It was a real honor to be on this first Blockchain Babes YouTube. I really like the concept and what you guys are doing in the space as well. And everyone listening, really just reach out to projects that that may be a liquidity manager. could help as well. Let them know that we're looking for more partners.
Yes.
The more partners we find, the more innovation that we drove to as well. And it's just a really exciting time to be onboarded as well.
Yeah, I see some people in chat asking about the like how to get involved with the LMS. So if you guys want to, you can join our Discord, and then we will kind of help you guys make that introduction over to Horde, and they can walk you through it and let you know how you could implement it into your project or your protocol or whatever you're looking to do. Okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thank you guys for joining us.
It's been a pleasure, guys. And
thanks for taking our YouTube virginity.
I was like, I know where she's going with this.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Okay. Yeah, thank you guys so much, and thank you to everyone who joined in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Is below.
And it's been a pleasure. Like I say, hats off to you how you've done this tonight. I really like the sort of casual sort of chat and talking about the projects. I really appreciate the great questions. Thanks to everyone in the audience for the great questions there. Congratulations to our competition winner. And yeah, it's been a pleasure, girls, and I look forward to speaking to you more. Thanks everyone for coming along.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all. We're gonna go ahead and end the stream here if there's nothing left to say. Nicole, are you good?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
All right. Thank you guys. Ending the stream. See y'all. Bye-bye.